work today as our off counter and chameleon. For filler words and phrases such as you know, such as, you know, those kind of clutch words that we tend to introduce and fill our gaps in our speaking. And for Marion, the word that I have chosen is fallible. Fallible, liable to be mistaken or deceived in judgment. All humans are fallible. So the word is going to, let's get some focus here. All right. And that's what I have for you today. Thank you. Thank you.
Okay. We do have a Table Topics Master signed up, Mr. Jonathan Gaines. However, I don't see him in the room or on the recording. So should we go on to the speech?
I think so, unless we have a volunteer who might come up with table topics later and we can revisit that. So,
okay. Okay. Well, are you ready, Jamila? I can go ahead and introduce you real quick.
Absolutely. Let's do it.
Great. So we have Miss Jamila. She is giving our icebreaker, which will be her first speech here in Toastmasters. So welcome and thank you.
All right. Well,
1 second. I'm sorry. I don't have my timing device. Apologize. I'll be ready in just a minute. Okay, ready.
all right. Let me apologize in advance. I'm having some work done here at the house, and so there's some banging going on. I don't know if you guys can hear that, but I hope not.
No.
Okay, great. So good afternoon, fellow Toastmasters. My name is Jamila Ewell, and I'd like to tell you a little about myself. In preparation for this speech, I looked up the term icebreaker to see if there was an official definition, and I found two. The first definition of an icebreaker that I found is a topic of conversation that eases people into talking with one another. An example of an icebreaker would be having everyone within a small group of people answer the question, what would you do with $1 million? The second definition I found is a ship designed for breaking a channel through ice. Now, surprisingly, the second definition describes me best. I believe that I am that ship. I was designed to break the ice. With a friendly smile, a simple hello, or even a wave and a how are you, I'm the kind of person who never meets a stranger, and so breaking the ice is usually very easy for me. Now, I've been told my entire life that I have the kind of personality that some would call aggressive. I was born in the South Jamaica section of Queens, New York in the late 60s. And so aggressive, that personality was kind of born and developed almost as a requirement for survival. I was raised by a single mom and had a lot of responsibilities at a really young age because I'm the oldest. So my mom's, her favorite term when I was growing up and asked the question was, Jamila, go figure it out. So although I was an introverted child, I trained myself how to be more extroverted. I became less shy, and by the time I was a teen, I figured out that the squeaky wheel is the one that gets the grease. Now, some may think that being an icebreaker or having that kind of personality is a detriment because back then it wasn't really considered ladylike. I was really curious and determined and asked a lot of nosy questions as a kid. However, sometimes in my 30s, I decided instead of changing that part of my personality, I decided to harness it into something productive. So instead of being aggressive, I began to change the narrative and started to use the word assertive to describe myself. I made a decision not to let other people's perception of me change the way I saw myself. I'm kind of a go-getter and I like that about myself. So I combined that trait with my propensity and desire to give, and I discovered that that was a winning combination. Now, I am a wife and a mom, and being an icebreaker helped me to raise two wonderful children who are also unafraid to go out and get what they want out of life. I've been in mortgage banking for 33 years, and it's that same assertiveness and determination to serve that helped me to help hundreds of people obtain the dream of home ownership. I'm also an outreach coordinator and a missionary, and doing outreaches is for the community, and foreign missions means asking for donations. So being an icebreaker has helped and allowed me to go out and ask for what I need in order to help other people, as well as always being able to strike up conversations to be effective in those roles. I'm also an avid cyclist and a bit of a fitness junkie, a woman of God, and a free spirit. So being an icebreaker helps me to do all of the things that I love, so I wouldn't change that about myself. That assertiveness has served me well in my career, in relationships, and in various ways over the years. I'm not afraid to ask questions, to challenge the status quo, to shake things up, and to be heard when necessary. There's something to be said for not being afraid to speak up, to communicate wants and needs, and have no fear when it comes to self expression. However, because I'm a human, I'm also fallible. Assertiveness can be a detriment if not used at the right time and place. So, with maturity comes an understanding of when and where to use this attribute. I'm a woman of faith, and the Bible teaches that there's a time and a season for everything. So, I'm grateful for the kind of emotional maturity that allows me to speak and also allows me to remain silent when appropriate. I do have to catch myself sometimes. My mouth wants to go to work before my brain. I once heard a quote from Joyce Meyer that says, "Wisdom can be defined as a decision that you make today that you will still be happy with in the future." And in all things, I desire to be wise. Wisdom should always proceed words because words are powerful. My two children, they taught me about the power of words, and I observed as they were growing up every day how my words could build them up for the desired outcome or tear them down completely. So every day I think about how my words affect change. And that's the reason why, for me, Toastmasters is important, because this is where we learn how to use our words most effectively. I realize that being unafraid to give a speech doesn't mean you're skilled at it. So I'm grateful to have this opportunity to learn and grow even more about how to more effectively use the power of my words. So thank you. Thank you for allowing me to share.
Thank you, Jamila. The world needs more icebreakers like you. Okay, so do we have anyone with any table topics that they would like to be our table topics master?
Oh, I think that we probably need to do around
Round robin?
for evaluations
Oh,
of speech,
oh,
but not right now.
okay.
You're on track. He was there.
I'm sorry for disturbing the flow of your, I just,
I'll do the table topics that I did for our, meeting earlier.
Excellent, thank you. So here comes Valencia as our table topics master, doing full of double duty today. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Now, as long as what happened in our meeting earlier doesn't happen now, where someone just wants to complain, it will be good. All right, I have 4 questions, let's see. And I won't call on our Toastmaster to answer questions, unless she wants to. All right. I have 4 questions, so I'll ask these questions of the room, and y'all have heard them already.
What?
Okay, you had some good questions.
All right, so let's see. I'm gonna start with James. James, sir, challenges as opportunities. Tell me about your most recent challenge that was actually an opportunity.
Okay.
Thank you.
Well, good afternoon again, fellow Toastmasters. She made this way too easy for me. I started my day today with a challenge. I participated, organized, led a meeting for our engineers at work. This is National Engineering Week. Oh, I didn't tell me you can only see my nose. So here we go. Let me adjust the camera there. So I participated in a meeting for our engineers this week. So it's the first time that I've done anything like that. And I was nervous about this large group. I think there was 150 people that were invited to this meeting, 150 of my people that work in the same department that I work in, not necessarily that I work with. But I saw this as an opportunity. It's challenging for me, yes. It always is every time I have to stand up and speak, but I saw it as an opportunity for my coworkers to get to know me. Saw it as an opportunity for me to be able to practice speaking, practice leading meetings, and it's only going to make me better, a better presenter, a better speaker, a better communicator, because I took on that challenge. And so I actually have a second challenge. I've got to do this with some members of the same group. I am facilitating and the moderator for a meeting at the end of the week. That's going to be between Charlotte Water engineers and UNC Charlotte professors and students. So I keep on getting these opportunities. I'm nervous about each and every one of them, but they're all going to make me better. So thank you.
I was in table topics mode, not timer mode. Thank you, James. Thank you for allowing us to be a part of that challenging opportunity with you as well. All right, I get to say one of my favorite words this week again. Quantumania. I'm such a geek. Y'all don't worry about me. I'm fine.
Don't worry about it.
That should be the word of the day.
It should be. Oh,
No, it's fallible.
I'm too excited. I'm too excited about Quantumania. Somebody asked me, what's that? And I was like, I thought we were friends. But anyway, antagonist, let's see. I am going to ask this question of Jamila because we learned a little bit about you in your icebreaker speech today. Sometimes the bad guy is misunderstood. Tell me about your favorite fictional bad guy and why you like them.
Oh, okay. My favorite fictional bad guy. Okay. So my favorite fictional bad guy is Killmonger from Black Panther. I like Killmonger because although he is a bad guy, and I understand the root cause of his badness. He was abandoned as a child. His father was murdered kind of right in front of him, and his badness is pretty deep rooted as a result of the trauma that he experienced. And although fictional, I believe that we can all relate to a little bit of what Killmonger kind of went through as a result of his trauma. I think Killmonger is very relatable, not to mention handsome. not to mention, not to mention intelligent. I liked his intelligent level. He was a bad guy, but he wasn't stupid or silly. He was also not only relatable, but I thought likable as a bad guy. And so, although he was the antagonist in the movie, I found myself feeling a little sorry for him. And so, yeah, I would say Killmonger would be my favorite antagonist.
All right. Thank you. Not bad on the eyes, but anyway. Real life champion, Lorena. Who is, yes, stop typing. I'm calling on you next. Real life champion, who is your hero? Tell me about your real life hero or champion.
I felt some sort of way about this table topic when you mentioned it. And then Larry threw me for a loop. Because now that I have an opportunity, although he won't be here, I have to say that Larry has become a hero in my life because he's opened up so many doors for me and shared so many opportunities for skills that I didn't really know I possessed. He shared opportunities with me to serve in an organization on a national level. I'm always learning with him. To me, heroes are people that I can learn from, not just copy or relate to. It's someone who wants me to grow in several different ways. And a lot of times it could be in a conversation where I learned something I didn't know, or it could be testing my courage, or just having me go up in front of somebody. I know this morning we got to share that experience with James, and that was also kind of new to me. So as James was a little nervous, I was a little nervous about the fact that, is this presentation going to cut it? There's so many unknowns, and I just don't want him to look bad. But after a few conversations with Larry, he said, you know, I think you can handle making a presentation, and I think whatever comes, at least he has our support. So now that you've asked me that tabletop thing, honestly, Larry has taken a role in my life where sometimes I don't know if he's a friend or like a second father. We're all talking about just about anything, if it's work-related problems, or even if I want to nerd out about certain professional topics, because we'll get very excited about different organizations. Like, I'll go off into this random tangent about Toastmasters, and I was talking to this group about it, and they want us to go out there, and they want us to show our skills, and I'm always kind of soliciting for Toastmasters and various other organizations. So I look forward to my journey working with Larry and continuing to learn from him and seeing other opportunities and skills that I possess and having myself just really grow and evolve. So for me, I think Larry would be a hero to me because with him, I'm really upgrading to another level that I didn't think was possible. So does that answer your question? Thank you.
I will answer the last question that I had, that I hadn't fleshed out the whole question yet, but when I got the surprise person who spoke, I didn't get a chance to really get to it.
Oh, that's true.
But the last question was more of a comment kind of question, and it was, pat yourself on the back. Tell us about a recent experience where you did something, one of your recent wins, one of your recent accomplishments that you feel good about, that you're giving yourself the pat on the back for. And I'll tell you that for me, my recent experience that I am proud of is I did my first speech contest ever in Toastmasters with the club and was able to win and move on to the area. We had the area contest last week and I was so nervous. And it was on Zoom, it was virtual. I couldn't decide if I was gonna stand up or sit down or where I was gonna position my camera. I was going to look, and I was standing up when the meeting started, and I could feel my knees just kind of buckling below me, but everybody else was sitting down, so I said, you know what? I'm gonna sit down so that I don't fall. Because that's how I was feeling at the time. I was like, oh my goodness, why am I doing this? What am I thinking? This is how I was feeling, actually. This anxiety about it. But once I sat down, I think I felt more comfortable. One of my fellow Toastmasters in another club, she did a speech at the very beginning of the meeting talking about being a champion and her father and how getting a college education was so important. And he pushed her to do that. And it just relaxed me just to hear her speak and tell that story. Because what I realized is that's all we're all doing. We're going inside a room and we're telling our story. It's our truth. It's not for likes and, hearts and, emoji or whatever. I mean, maybe it is. Not for me. It's not for that. It's to actually connect on a human level with other people. And I love that experience. It makes me nervous still to do it because I am an introvert as well. But I enjoy it once I walk away from it, once I have the experience. So pushing myself to do it is something that I have to give myself a pat on the back for. And on March 23rd, I'll go to the division level and have to do it all over again. So y'all pray for me. Thank you. I'm Toastmaster.
Okay, excellent table topics. Thank you, Valencia. And thank you to everyone for your table topic answer. Okay, so now we evaluate the speaker, and it appears that we'll be doing a round robin evaluation.
Yes.
So that means that all four of us in the room will be evaluating Jamila.
Yes.
Okay.
Giving her feedback. Yes, and giving her feedback.
Sure, yeah. So since I'm already up here, I'll go ahead and start. So, Jamila, excellent speech. You were very well put together and poised. I love it that you looked up the word icebreaker. So, it's like, well, what am I doing? I'm doing icebreaker. What is that? I like that. And then you saw the second, you saw one of the definitions, you're like, oh, that's me. And then you kind of went from there. So I like your approach on your icebreaker speech. So well done. Okay.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Who would like to evaluate second? James is right there. Here comes James.
All right, let me adjust the screen. Miss Jamila, very well done. I am just sitting here feeling very grateful that you're a part of our club.
Oh, thank you for that.
You are an icebreaker. I mean, that's how you came into the room. You just broke this, just busted on in, and just tore down anything that would hold you back. And you came out the gate speaking. I did not catch any filler words. I don't know if it's because you didn't have any, but you just, delivered very quickly and just went from one point to the next, to the next, and the next. And I heard you say in your speech, the power of words, and that was actually the title of my icebreaker speech. So I really connected with that. And
Wow.
And the more time I spend in Toastmasters and the more that I have opportunities to do some public speaking, I realize more and more the power of our words and the responsibility that we have in using what we have got more power and more accustomed to using in different areas. So as far as feedback, I would just say, keep going like you're doing it and stuff. Your speech was great, and I look forward to presentations in the future. And, look forward to learning and growing along with you. So thank you.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Okay, would you like to give your evaluation?
All right. I'm glad we did this round robin, truthfully, because it's so nice to have you as a part of this club, because I kind of realized when you first started that you and I are both spicy kind of people, right? So I realized at the beginning, so I said, this is in addition to the jalapeno that I am, because I'm an extra, like I'm guacamole, right? I'm extra everywhere all the time. I said, sometimes you need to add a little spice to it. So I think it's great that you're here. I absolutely loved your speech, not just because I fangirled about Killmonger, but yes, usually when I think about villains and antagonists, I think about the human element, right? Because a lot of villains, either they come out with something stupid, like, well, I just want to destroy people because I want to destroy people, but he does speak from a point of pain, so I really enjoyed that. And I really enjoyed your speech. I think you had a great flow. You were very well paced, as you usually are, actually. I'll give you overall feedback. You're usually very well paced, you're very patient when you speak. Your vocabulary was great. I saw you snuck in the word of the day. I was like, of course. I was like, that's my spicy sister right there. I thought she wasn't going to use it, and I didn't use it. I said, yes, she's going to use that word.
Well,
So
thank
that
you.
was great to see, and I enjoyed the fact that you used it. My only thing, and I don't always really do this, my only feedback for you would be to be mindful of your body when you present, right?
Mhm.
So I realize now, since we don't get to see you in person, I don't know what you're like when you stand, but I said, she does make a lot of gestures. And you can get very comfortable, but those can become distracting, right?
Mhm.
So as I watched you present on the screen, right, remember you're a lot bigger here. And I said, I think at some point, Jamila might want to work on making sure she doesn't move more, to take away from what she's saying. I want to pay attention to your movement a little bit more being on the screen and lose focus for what you're saying because your content is so good.
Right.
So that was something I heard about early on in my public speaking feedback. I'm very big on hands, right? So I started to look up pointers on how to control my hands, and I think that's just the most minimal thing that can make a huge difference for you speaking and moving forward. Because it'll allow you more control of the room, right? You can make a gesture and then it be a part of your speech, as opposed to, I just move a lot and I just have all these hands going around. And now you're not listening to me because I'm literally all up in your face.
Right.
So I wanted to offer you that someone offered me a long time ago.
Thank you for that.
Yeah, you're welcome.
I appreciate that. Mm-hmm.
Okay, last but not least, our final round robin evaluator will be Ms. Valencia.
You got to talk first.
Thank you. Jamila, well done, well done. I appreciated your speech very much, mainly because I feel like I got to know you better through your speech and a little bit of your history, your backstory, where you're from originally. When you said Jamaica, I was like, oh, what? And then talking about how that developed into your personality, along with your relationship with your mom, you talked a little bit about that. So I did appreciate hearing those parts of your speech, especially. You said something that struck me the same way that it struck James about words and their impact in building up or tearing down. And for me, that's biblical. And I think about that and consider that. So thank you for that reminder as well in your speech. I really did appreciate it. Your speech was about 5.5 minutes, which is great timing for an icebreaker. I also love the fact that you personified icebreaker. I am the icebreaker. When you said that, it reminded me of how I'm not an icebreaker and how I need you to be in rooms with me like all the time, probably. Like, I need that type of personality with me because I am a wallflower. I'm not a nice
Oh,
person
wow. I would
at
never
all.
have known that.
Yeah, it's a lot of practice. That's been happening with me over the years, but yeah, I'm not, but I do appreciate that and your description of it, giving us the definition as well as the personification of it. And then later you gave us a quote from Joyce Myers that you went into a little bit. I think those are great elements to have in your speech. They add credibility to what you're saying. I think all of those elements make you an outstanding public speaker. As a matter of fact, I did pick up on what Lorena picked up on, and I think I do the same thing. And I was kind of speaking about this in my table topics. When I'm sitting, especially in a swivel chair, baby, that thing is moving.
Yes.
I'm like rocking. And I mean, I think that it kind of takes you away from focusing in where the elements that build with your audience and engage them is that eye contact and being very intentional when you're speaking. So there were some parts of your speech where I wanted you to be more intentional and speak directly to the audience. And I think that's it, you know, with the movement, it kind of distracts you as well as a speaker in that comfort zone. So I just wanted to add that on to the feedback. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Okay. So now what we would like to do is have some of our reports read. So I will go ahead and call on the counter and grammarian James to give us a report.
I will start out by saying all of you are very, very fortunate that this is a role that I have not done very often. And I am still struggling to listen for these filler words. And maybe it's because I use so many of them and just think they ought to be a natural part of our speech that I don't catch them at the rate that other people who have been in this role catch them. And so for you, Jamila, I got you saying "and so" once. Now you might have had some other stuff in there, but you slipped it by me. I wasn't sharp enough to catch it, but you had something. And Miss Lorena got you for saying "so" about 4 times. And I'm not sure, Ms. Valencia, she's pretty clever as well, because I did not catch a single thing. I know you said something.
I think
Because I have caught some stuff on you in the past. I didn't have the opportunity to tell you.
you weren't prepared.
So for all the time that you said one of these words. And Dana, I've heard you say "so" about 3 times, and I heard you say "you know" at least once. And the word of the day, I know that Jamila used the word of the day, and I am trying to, I think Valencia might have snuck it in there. No, you didn't sneak it in there? Okay, trying to get. See, you're trying to give you quick credit for something. I ain't giving you credit for any wrong used words, so I'm trying to throw that in. So that was, yeah, that was very good, Jamil, especially being able to just put that, it just slid right in that in your speech just perfectly. So thank you for that, and that's what I have.
Okay, we have a general evaluator today, Ms. Moreno, so I'm going to invite her to come on up and give the general evaluation for today's meeting.
all right, I feel like I've been up here almost getting tired. It's weird how that podium does that to you, where you come up and we move around so much and you think, was I just up there? I've never actually had this role before, so this was a role I took as a risk because my next pathways items is to actually give feedback. So I'll be tackling that next. So I said, why not start with the general evaluation? So I'll probably talk to you about that too, because I want to make sure I do it right. And overall for the meeting, I think this meeting was fantastic. I enjoyed the fact that Dana came very prepared with all the goodies and a beautiful spread of energy. I'm going to actually take a picture of the same video I sent Larry and share with you to see if he'll be motivated to attend the meeting in person. Because we're really setting things up here and the city of Charlotte gives us water. I'll tell you that. They don't let us get thirsty. And then we have our wonderful tablecloth. I am so proud of the way this group has really grown since I got here. I was excited to be a member anyways, and I'm not sure if I transfer how excited I am to other people as we're gaining so much interest from different organizations that I really talk to about the importance of public speaking. So today, Valencia and I and Larry got to share a moment with James today, and that could be an organization that decides to sign up for Toastmasters. I'll stay ready for those invitations as they come through. And I think, Jamila, it was wonderful and it was a breath of fresh air to have your speech today. I see a lot of great things coming from you. And I continue and I hope to see you sign up for another speech soon. So I think it's great that we're all tackling different roles. And we're all kind of going in with the leap of faith and hoping, and we feel so comfortable and that this meeting is always such a safe space to try something new and not feel judged and not feel isolated or excluded. So I think today's meeting overall was wonderful, even though we had a table topics master, which I'm going to catch outside because he kind of bailed on us. But our group is always very quick to step in and change things and pivot. I like to think of our public service club as a very agile group, right? We respond to change very well, and we can respond very quickly. So that's my general evaluation. So I will hand it over to the Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you.
Thank you, Lorena. Okay. We saved the best for last because Jamila, by doing your icebreaker, I'm going to read this, you get your competent communication project 1, the icebreaker. You get this nice.
Yay!
We will get this to you. So thank you very much. It's very brave to jump in there and start breaking some ice.
Thank you.
So without further ado, I think we have done everything we're here to do. So I call this meeting to close.
Thank you. Valencia, congratulations. I saw in an email today that you got a Toastmasters award.
Your face.
I got an email from District 37 Toastmasters and your name was on it.